Well, hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who've been watching or follow along, you will have noticed that all of my previous videos have been about off-road motorcycling, but back in January 2019 I had a nasty accident, smashed my left leg and left shoulder and broke a lot of bones and have had to give up that worthwhile pursuit. So I decided to take up four-wheel driving. Now, I've always been a fan of Land Rovers, so went and bought myself an old Range Rover. I've called it Christine because she's got so many nasty habits. Reminds me of the movie by Stephen King. Anyway, so I haven't done much in Christine apart from some couple of safari trips, and I think I might have done a video of that before now, but I don't know whether I posted it or not. Anyway, so that was that. But I had an introduction to some really hardcore off-road stuff in a purpose-built off-road truck, bush truck, that I went as a passenger to try it out to see what it was like. I absolutely loved it. Turns out that the guy I went with happened to have one of these trucks for sale. He had put it in a shed 3 years ago while he built another one, and it was still sitting in his shed. So, long story short, I bought it, got it home. He wanted to keep the diff lockers that it had in it because they were really good ones, and he wanted to use them for another project. So we just put open diffs in it, front and back of Discovery, Disco 1 diffs. It's still got the centre diff lock, but that's it. Otherwise, it's open diffs each end. So this was my first trip out in it that I've filmed now. That'll be following along in a minute. First real trip. I did a bit of a shakedown run just to learn how to drive the thing. It's a bit of a handful when you're not used to it. Anyway, this was the first decent trip, and the first day was pouring with rain, and it was wet and miserable, and I just couldn't be bothered mucking around with cameras and things. It was not knowing what I was up against and how much concentration I was going to need to drive the old boy. So I didn't film it, but this is the second day. After I got a bit of confidence, knew what I was doing, knew what the truck was capable of, and so I filmed a little bit of it until my battery went flat and I didn't have any backup battery. So just remembered, on the first day I did take a few snapshots, beginning with when I first left, which is the first one you'll see, and then I took a couple of quick little videos on my phone when I was out of my truck filming everyone else getting stuck. So that might be quite amusing too. So that makes the video a little bit longer, but the whole thing's only about 15 minutes, so hope you enjoy it. Here I am filling up with gas, ready to head off to the Ngaroma block of the Pureora Forest, which is operated by the King Country 4-Wheel Drive Club. Ready for a weekend of fun and hilarity and lots of mud. So this is the campsite on Sunday morning. A bit cold, but everyone's up and had their breakfast and getting ready to start the day again. It wasn't a frost, thank goodness, but it was certainly cold enough. I'm going to have to bring my thicker sleeping bag next time. There's the King Country camp. The boys just standing around getting ready. Here's old Sarge, looking a bit dirty, but went bloody well yesterday. And ready for another day out without having to do anything. Picked up a tree, went charging into a tree just before I finished yesterday and brought a branch home with me. Yeah, it's a bit muddy, gets a bit muddy in there. And Christine nearly packed up, ready to go home. That truck there's the only one that's made it up so far. 38-inch wheels. Oh well, it's 3 goes, didn't work. Got further than the other guy. Well, you wouldn't believe it. The last few minutes of that trip, I hit something with the front wheel quite hard. I think it was a tree or a stump or something. Well, with the left front wheel, I think it was, and it bent my tie rod. The boys helped me. They crawled underneath and we wrapped the winch rope onto it around a tree and then tried to pull the thing straight, which we did, and that was all well and good. But it didn't last very long. As soon as I hit a hole or something, and the bloody thing bent again, and that was that. But had a really good time anyway, and I ordered a new tie rod from Marcel while we were there, and I'll get that on next week, ready for the next trip. So we'll see you then.